Hello students, I am VLN Swarupini, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Science, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajahmundry. Now, I would like to discuss about second BSc 4th semester biochemistry paper, that is intermediary metabolism. So, in this class, let's see about the Unit 2 topic, that is metabolism of cholesterol. Metabolism of cholesterol. So let's see what is cholesterol, how it is useful in our body and its biosynthesis. So here metabolism of cholesterol means biosynthesis and its degradation will be present. So let's see. So before seeing about the biosynthesis of cholesterol, let's see what is cholesterol and how it is important to us. Basically, this cholesterol is found in animals, and that's why it is also called as animal sterol. It is commonly seen in animals, thus it is called as animal sterol. And here total body content of cholesterol in adults who is 70 kgs will be 140 grams. That means if we take a person of 70 kg body weight, in that particular person 140 grams of cholesterol will be present. So here cholesterol is also essential for our body, and around 2 grams per kg is divided in our body. What is this? Cholesterol is divided 2 grams per kg of the body weight. And coming to this cholesterol, it is amphipathic in nature. Amphipathic in nature. That means it shows both hydrophilic and hydrophobic characteristics. Hydrophilic means water which is soluble in water, and hydrophobic means water insoluble. So this cholesterol contains both hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions in its structure. Okay, and in the same manner we should see about the functions of the cholesterol. So in animals this cholesterol is present. So what is the purpose of cholesterol in animals? Let's see. This particular cholesterol is a structural component of cell membrane. That means cell membrane is made up with this cholesterol. That means cholesterol is one of the important constituent of this particular component of this particular cell membrane. And this cholesterol will act as precursor for many steroids. That means many steroids will be produced, synthesized from this cholesterol. And here steroid hormones, vitamin D and bile acids were also developed from this cholesterol. And this is essential ingredient in the structure of lipoproteins. This is very essential in the structure of lipoproteins. So here lipoprotein means it is a combination of lipid and protein. So here in lipoprotein cholesterol is a major constituent. So what is the purpose of lipoproteins? Means these lipoproteins are helpful in the transportation of lipids. Okay, and fatty acids are transported to liver as cholesterol esters for their oxidation. So fatty acid oxidation is very essential in our body. Sorry for the disturbances, students. Okay, so here fatty acids are transported to liver in the form of cholesterol esters, and after reaching liver, these undergo oxidation process. So these are the major functions. What are they? This cholesterol is a major structural component of cell membrane, act as precursor for many compounds like steroid hormones, vitamin D, bile acids, and major it will help in the transportation of lipoproteins, and also it will help in the transportation of fatty acids to liver for their oxidation. So these are the major functions of cholesterol in our body. So now let's see about cholesterol biosynthesis. Coming to cholesterol biosynthesis, about 1 kg of cholesterol is synthesized per day in adults. Okay. So here major part of the major part of the major part of the cholesterol is produced in liver, and that means here 50% of the cholesterol is produced in the liver. Later, intestine, skin, adrenal cortex, and reproductive tissues are also helpful. So here the enzymes which are responsible for the cholesterol synthesis are found in the cytosol, and microsomal fractions of the cell. So here by this we can understand most probably cholesterol biosynthesis will be takes place in the cytosol. Okay. So here if you see cholesterol biosynthesis, it is not a simple biosynthesis process. Here 5 stages or 5 steps of synthesis is present. First synthesis is by synthesis of HMG CoA, that is hydroxymethyl glutarate CoA, and the second stage is formation of mevalonate, and the third stage is production of isoprenoid units, and fourth stage is synthesis of squalene, and fifth stage is conversion of squalene to cholesterol. So in this manner cholesterol will be synthesized, and here whatever the carbon atoms which are present in the cholesterol will be provided by acetyl CoA, and reducing equivalents will be supplied from NADPH, from which ATP is produced. Okay, so here for the production of 1 mole of cholesterol, 18 molecules of acetyl CoA and 36 moles of ATP and 16 moles of NADH are required. So I think these kind of points will be very important um, in the point of examinations like OSET, AK and USETs. Okay, so here 1 mole of cholesterol is synthesized from the 18 moles of acetyl CoA, 36 moles of ATP and 16 moles of NADH. Okay, and here now let's see the steps which are involved in the biosynthesis of cholesterol. So as I said, first step is the synthesis of beta hydroxy beta methyl glutaryl CoA, which we can simply call it as HMG CoA. Okay, HMG CoA. So here as I said, it requires acetyl CoA. So initially 2 moles or 2 molecules of acetyl CoA will be combined. 2 molecules of acetyl CoA will be combined to form acetoacetyl CoA, where we have seen this step. 2 molecules of acetyl CoA will combine to form acetoacetyl CoA, and here the enzyme is thiolase. Here the enzyme is thiolase. And the first step is formation of acetoacetyl-CoA. So the next, what happens? Acetoacetyl-CoA is converted into beta-hydroxy beta-methyl glutaryl-CoA by the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase, that is beta-hydroxy beta-methyl glutaryl-CoA reductase. Here, this enzyme requires two NADPH molecules. Okay. So during the reaction, it requires two NADPH molecules. And finally, this HMG-CoA is synthesized. Now let's see this reaction with structures. So this is the acetyl-CoA. So here two acetyl-CoAs, that is CH. This is one acetyl-CoA and another acetyl-CoA, that is CH3 C double bond O S-CoA. So two molecules will combine to form this CH3 C double bond O CH2 C double bond O S-CoA, and here the enzyme is thiolase. Here we have got acetoacetyl-CoA. Now this acetoacetyl-CoA is converted into beta-hydroxy beta-methyl glutaryl-CoA, that is HMG-CoA. So if you see the structure, it is COO minus CH2 C CH3OH CH2 C double bond O S-CoA. So this is the structure, and here the enzyme is which is responsible for the formation of HMG-CoA is HMG-CoA synthase. So here what is happening? One more acetyl group is being added here. Okay. So this is the first step, that is formation of HMG-CoA. This is the first stage of cholesterol biosynthesis. Synthesis of HMG-CoA is the first step in the synthesis of cholesterol. And here we have seen the same step, that is two acetyl-CoA combined to form acetoacetyl-CoA. So just tell me in which metabolic pathway we have seen this step. Okay. So now we have got HMG-CoA. So next step is formation of mevalonate. So directly from this beta-hydroxy beta-methyl glutaryl-CoA, mevalonate will be formed. Here mevalonate is a 6-carbon compound. If you see the structure, it is quite different from the structures you have seen till now. So this is CH2 and carbon will be there, and CH3 OH, and here one hydrox alcohol group and CH2 and one hydroxy group. So in this manner the structure of mevalonate will be present. And if you see this mevalonate, you can see 6 carbon atoms, 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 carbons will be present. Okay, and this mevalonate is produced from HMG-CoA by the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase, and here two NADPH molecules are utilized. Okay, two NADPH molecules were utilized. Okay, so this is about the second stage. What happened? This particular malonate, which is a 6 carbon compound, is produced. And now from malonate, I think you should write notes, no? Okay. So this malonate step is a rate limiting enzyme. That means HMG-CoA reductase is a rate limiting enzyme, and this step is a rate limiting step. Why? Because here the regulation of cholesterol biosynthesis can be carried by using this HMG-CoA reductase enzyme. Okay, so the next step is production of isoprenoid units. So production of isoprenoid units, and this production of isoprenoid units is not a single reaction. We'll have series of reactions in this stage. Let's see that. First, malonate is converted into 5 phosphomalonate. That means addition of a phosphate group to the malonate will make it 5 phosphomalonate. That means on the 5th carbon atom addition of phosphate will be carried, and here the enzyme is regulated by the enzyme malonate kinase. Kinase means automatically ATP is required, and the addition of this phosphate group or the phosphate donor is ATP here. So ATP will donate one phosphate group to the malonate, and this phosphate will bind to the 5th position, and now 5 phosphomalonate will be produced. So this is the next step. So after formation of this 5 phosphomalonate, again 5 pyrophosphomalonate will be produced. So here addition of one more phosphate will be carried, and this reaction is carried by the enzyme phosphomalonate kinase. Phosphomalonate kinase. Again ATP is used during this step, and one phosphate group is added. So we have 5 pyrophosphomalonate now. And after this 5 pyrophosphomalonate is converted into 3-phospho-5 pyrophosphomalonate. 3-phospho-5 pyrophosphomalonate by the enzyme pyrophosphomalonate kinase, and obviously the phosphate which is being added at the 3rd position is donated by the ATP, which will be used by the enzyme to form this product. Okay, so this is the next step, and the last step that we see in this stage is formation of isopentenyl pyrophosphate. Formation of isopentenyl pyrophosphate. Here this isopentenyl pyrophosphate is produced from the 3-phospho-5 pyrophosphomalonate, and here the enzyme is pyrophosphomalonate decarboxylase. Pyrophosphomalonate decarboxylase. So here 5 carbon compound, that is isopentenyl pyrophosphate, is formed, and from this dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate is produced, that is by the enzyme isopentenyl pyrophosphate isomerase. So with this production of isoprenoid units, the 3rd stage of this cholesterol biosynthesis will be completed. Okay, so here at the end we have got isopentenyl pyrophosphate IPP and dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate, that is DPP. So the next stage is synthesis of squalene. So the next stage is synthesis of squalene. So for the synthesis of squalene, what happens is whatever the isopentenyl pyrophosphate and the dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate were produced, these will combine with the further produced products and they will form this squalene. So before that, let's see the third step reactions. As these are little complex structures, I think it's better to see them. So we have got malvalnate, and this malvalnate is converted into 5-phosphomalvalnate by the enzyme malvalnate kinase. So if you observe here at the fifth position, one phosphate is attached. The enzyme malvalnate kinase is helpful for this reaction. And from this 5-phosphomalvalnate, 5-pyrophosphomalvalnate is produced by addition of additional phosphate group, and the enzyme is phosphomalvalnate kinase. And from this 5-pyrophosphomalvalnate, 3-phospho-5-pyrophosphomalvalnate is produced, and we can see addition of phosphate group at the third position. And here also kinase is utilized. And next one is formation of isopentenyl pyrophosphate. Here if you see the structure, CH3 double bond CH2 is newly seen. So if you see the structure of this particular 3-phospho-5-pyrophosphomalvalnate and isopentenyl pyrophosphate, one phosphate group is removed and this COOH is also removed, and that double bond CH2 is produced. Okay, so this is isopentenyl pyrophosphate, and from this isopentenyl pyrophosphate, this dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate is produced. Dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. So two methyl groups will be present, and this is produced by the isopentenyl pyrophosphate isomerase enzyme. Okay, so till now we have seen the third stage. Now we are moving to the fourth stage, that is synthesis of squalene. So here whatever the IPP and DPP, that is isopentenyl pyrophosphate and dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate, which are produced in the previous stage, they both condense to form a 10 carbon compound. That means this isopentenyl pyrophosphate is a 5 carbon compound, and at the same time this dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate is a 5 carbon compound. They both condense to form 10 carbon compound called gerantyl pyrophosphate. Gerantyl pyrophosphate. So again what happens is another molecule of isopentenyl pyrophosphate will condense with this gerantyl pyrophosphate to form pharenzyl pyrophosphate. So if you see the carbon count here, gerantyl pyrophosphate is a 10 carbon compound, and by addition of one isopentenyl pyrophosphate, which is a 5 carbon compound, this pharenzyl pyrophosphate is a 15 carbon compound. So can you answer the question, how many carbons are there in cholesterol? Can you tell me how many carbons are there in cholesterol? So we'll have 27 carbons. Okay, if you see the molecular formula of cholesterol, it is C27H46O. So here we have only 15 carbons now. So further addition of remaining carbon should be taken place. So here what happens is 2 units of pharenzyl pyrophosphate units will be added to each other to form a 30 carbon squalene. So whatever the carbons which are present in the cholesterol, they will be seen in this squalene. Okay, so here 2 units of pharenzyl pyrophosphate will combine to form this 30 carbon squalene. Okay, now let's see the structures. So if you see the diagram here, just observe. This isopentenyl pyrophosphate is combining with this dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate, and it will produce this gerantyl pyrophosphate, which is a 10 carbon compound. This reaction is this structure is CH3C CH3 double bond CH CH2 CH2C CH3 double bond CH CH2 OPP. Okay, so here the enzyme is cis-prenyl transferase. So here the enzyme is cis-prenyl transferase, and in the same manner what I said, isopentenyl pyrophosphate is converted into dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate by the enzyme isopentenyl pyrophosphate isomerase, and isopentenyl pyrophosphate and dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate are combined to form this gerantyl pyrophosphate by the enzyme cis-prenyl transferase. Now another molecule of this isopentenyl pyrophosphate is added to this gerantyl pyrophosphate by the enzyme cis-prenyl transferase again. So then we'll get pharenzyl pyrophosphate, which is a 15 carbon compound. Here just normal structure is seen, a simple form of this pharenzyl pyrophosphate, and here the next step is combination of 2 pharenzyl pyrophosphates with the enzyme squalene synthase, and here it is a NADPH dependent enzyme, okay, and squalene, which is a 30 carbon compound, is formed. Okay, so this is when we rearrange this squalene, it will be like this. Okay, so this is the squalene. So last step, that is conversion of squalene into cholesterol. Let's see this. This squalene undergoes hydroxylation and cyclization. Utilizing carbon dioxide and NADPH, and it will be converted into landsterol. Okay, so it undergoes a series of reactions by the enzyme epioxidase, hydroxylase, cyclase. So these are the enzymes which will help this squalene to be converted into lanosterol by hydroxylation and cyclization reactions. And here NADPH is used. At the same time, oxygen is also used, carbon dioxide is also utilized. Okay, so Lanosterol is also a 30 carbon compound. Here one addition of hydroxyl group is seen if you see the structure. And from this lanosterol, cholesterol is formed by a series of reactions. About 19 reactions will be carried between lanosterol and cholesterol. Okay, and here also NADPH is used. So most importantly, what happens during this is reducing the carbon atom from 30 to 27. So we have 30 carbon atoms. So the remaining 3 carbon atoms will be released, removed from the lanosterol, and removal of 2 methyl groups from 4th carbon atom and 1 methyl group from the 14th carbon atom, and shifting of double bond from 8th carbon atom to 5th carbon atom, and reduction in the double bond present between 24th carbon atom and 25th carbon atom. So by making all these changes, finally cholesterol will be produced. So the enzymes involved in the conversion of lanosterol to cholesterol are, these are associated with the endoplasmic reticulum. 14 des-methyl-lanosterol, zymosterol, cholesterol and desmosterol are the intermediates which will be produced during this 19 series of reactions. So let's see the steps here. So squalene is formed, and the squalene is converted into lanosterol, and lanosterol is converted into cholesterol. Okay. And this is about cholesterol. And now just I would like to draw cholesterol structure for you. Okay, it is there, no? Just I'll mention the carbon positions. Okay. So this is the cholesterol structure, and I'll just write the carbons. This is the first position, second carbon, third carbon, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So total 27 carbons, that is C27, H46 and O. This is the molecular formula of this particular cholesterol. Okay. So this is about cholesterol. And now let's see about a small topic, that is synthesis of lectins. So here these are produced in our body. So let's see about this lectin biosynthesis. So here choline and ethanolamine first get phosphorylated, then combined with CTP, and they form CDP choline and CDP ethanolamine respectively. So for the synthesis of these lectins, choline and ethanolamine are phosphorylated, and they'll be combined with CTP, that is cytosine triphosphate, and finally after the reaction, what will be formed? CDP choline and CDP ethanolamine will be produced. So here phosphatidyl choline, which is a lectin, is synthesized when CDP choline combines with 1,2 diacylglycerol. So here initially choline is converted into CDP choline, and CDP choline will be converted into 1,2 diacylglycerol, and from this phosphatidyl choline will be produced. Okay, so here phosphatidyl choline, that is lectin, is synthesized when CDP choline combines with 1,2-diacylglycerol, and phosphatidyl ethanolamine, which is a cephalin, is produced when CDP ethanolamine reacts with 1,2-diacylglycerol. Finally, cephalin and lectin were produced. And here phosphatidyl ethanolamine can be converted into phosphatidyl choline on methylation. So whatever this phosphatidyl ethanolamine is present, it can be converted into phosphatidyl choline by methylation process. And choline and ethanolamine used for phospholipid synthesis are mostly derived from the pre-existing phospholipids. So whatever the phospholipids which are present in our body, these will be helpful for the conversion of this phospholipid and ethanolamine into phospholipids. Thus the phospholipid synthesis starting with choline or ethanolamine is regarded as salvage pathway, that means alternative pathway. So this is the lectin, simple structure of the lectin. So hope you got understood. Here for the formation of lectins, choline is useful, and for the formation of cephalins, ethanolamine is used. Choline and ethanolamine will be converted into CDP choline and CDP ethanolamine by the phosphorylation step, and this is carried by CTP, cytosine triphosphate, and this choline, which is the form of CDP choline, is converted into phosphatidyl choline or lectin by addition of 1,2-diacylglycerol to the choline, CDP choline. And at the same in the same manner, this phosphatidyl ethanolamine is converted into cephalin by addition of 1,2 diacylglycerol to the phosphatidyl ethanolamine. So these two, cephalin and lectin, these are helpful in the production of this phospholipids. Okay, that means choline and ethanolamine also helpful in the production of phospholipids, and here these both can be interconverted. That means phosphatidyl ethanolamine is converted into it can be easily converted into phosphatidyl choline by methylation process. So this is it, and by this we ended the unit 2, and we'll see unit 3 in the next class. Write the notes properly. If you have any doubts, please contact me. Thank you, students.